back to another episode of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Kate.
And on this episode, we are going to talk about 5 facts about obesity. But before we begin, how's it going? What's the haps?
Things are good. How about you?
Doing good, working out, feeling pain.
Yeah, same. I actually retweaked my shoulder.
Did you?
Yeah, I been feeling a lot better, so I like pushed it a little bit more. And I was doing ball slams across to the wall, and I just got to the window to the wall, and I doubled over in pain because I pushed too hard, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Oh, so I thought I was trying to be smart, and I was like doing light weights for my muscles, and and then I was doing some leg workouts, and I was like, "Oh, this is too light." I put extra weight on for my legs, and now my legs hurt.
Yeah, I love the feeling of gym sore though.
Don't like sore.
I like gym sore, like not injured sore. Like I'm like, I did something.
But yeah, no, especially like my like hamstring.
Oh yeah,
I'm not, and I won't lie, I've never really done like glute like workout muscle specifically for that, and I did some of that, and that was
whenever you do something new.
Yeah,
it's tough. I actually did. They brought treadmills in because they're doing this whole new workout thing called High Rocks at Afterburn Gym. Anyway, I don't know much about it, but we're doing these workouts that are like pseudo versions of it, and it looks real intense. But they brought treadmills into the gym. So we were doing a workout the other day where you had to do like 4 rounds of the station you were at. And one of those rounds was to walk up on the treadmill at maximum incline, except with no breaks, because a lot of it is like 60 seconds of work, 20-second break. But for that round, you had to walk continuously, which is only 5 minutes. Like, so, but I've struggled to walk for 5 minutes continuously, and I was like, "This is great training for the walk, for our walk." And so it was at max incline, and the coach decided to stand right next to me while I was on the treadmill.
Always fun.
And so I was like, "Okay, I'm here for the long haul, so I better go pretty slow." And he was like, "Oh, it's so weird. This thing keeps going faster," and I'm walking. I was like, "I'm going to fall." He's like, "You're not going to fall." "No, I'm going to fall. I've fallen off a treadmill before. I'm going to fall." "You're not going to fall." And he kept like putting it up, and I was like, "Oh no." And I was holding on to the sides. He's like, "Let go of the sides, use your arms." So it's like, okay. I was like, "I'm going to fall." And then I got pretty winded, as I would.
Yes.
But I finished it.
Nice.
And I was like, and I wasn't going terribly fast, for the record. I wasn't, but I finished it, and I was like, okay, I can walk 5 minutes maximum incline.
The first time ever did squats with the barbell on my.
Oh, isn't that fun?
I was like, I was when there was no one, because when I work out, it's like midday, so there's like barely anyone in the gym. So I would, and where the gym has the barbells at, it's like on the other side of like a wall, so only the people walking around the track really see you. And I was like, okay, I'll try this. And my first one was the most awkward squat I've ever done. And I did it, but yeah, I did like 25 pounds on either side doing it. It was,
and the bar itself is 45.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty good.
It was awkward. And I don't bend very well.
No, it takes time to build that up, but you're strong and you'll build up quickly. I found when we did a lot of that kind of workout at Port City Gym, and it was like Mondays were squat days and Thursdays were deadlift days with the barbell. And I loved barbell workout because because you carry so much weight around, because I carry so much weight around, I'm really, really strong.
Yeah. And
a lot of large people are. And so like I put that thing on my back, and once I got used to it, and the more weight I lost, the more I could lift. And I got up to like over 200, almost 200 pounds, I think. And I was like, no, not quite that much. Like 170 may have been my max, but I felt like I felt great. That was when my knees and back were not feeling me.
The worst one I've done so far, the worst was do you know what a skull crusher is?
No.
So you take barbells, you lay on your back on a bench.
Yeah.
And you take 2 barbells that are the same size, and you basically hold them out in front of you and bring them down towards your head,
Oh yeah, so
And
it's like
then
a tricep workout.
and then pull them back up. And they obviously my tricep is like my weakest.
Yeah, you don't work that out a lot. I've done like a variation on that where you're standing and you bring it behind your shoulder, bring it behind your head and hold it in both hands and bring it up like this. So it's a similar
same kind of similar workout. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was my worst one. I only did like 15 pounds on that versus like,
oh well, that's huge. Like 50, yeah, that's 30 pounds still. Like,
but it's that was my worst one.
We have you ever used the TRX machine, which is where it's just you hold on to handles and use your body weight to different things. You can do all kinds of workouts. You can do pull-ups and that sort of thing on it, but there's a variation on that. That's a tricep, and it's one of my favorite workouts. Is you kind of stand on your toes and you bring it down and up and like that, and you bring your head toward your hands, and it's really great for the tries. But
I don't.
We're real gym bros.
I know, right? I usually do free weights. I like free weights.
Yeah, I love the TRX stuff though.
Yeah,
personally, but
let's get into the topic at hand. Five things. What was the 5 facts about obesity? I don't remember the topic.
5 facts about obesity that everyone should know.
Yes, that one.
1, obesity is a chronic disease.
Yeah.
It is not a personal failure or lack of willpower. Obesity is a chronic disease. I'm repeating it for effect. Recognizing it as such helps remove the stigma and shifts focus to compassionate, evidence-informed healthcare and like evidence and health and informed like just existence.
Heck yeah.
Should be properly diagnosed by a qualified healthcare provider. Like, oh, you have a disease. Walking down the street is probably not acceptable.
What do you mean?
How'd you know? And yeah, so it can move away from the blame game.
Yeah, I think once you put it into it was not fully my fault category, and you can kind of start working on trying to solve the issue.
Absolutely, because it does lead to other major issues, and denying that through over positivity, I think we can still be body positive and still address that.
No, 100%. There are still issues that occur. It's just, maybe we also need to love ourselves.
100%. And both of those things can be true.
It's true.
Obesity is driven by my God, talk, Kaylin. Obesity is driven by biology, not choice.
True. I think that for sure. I mean, if you were born into a larger family, it's probably
with 70% of risk determined by genetics. Yeah. For people living with obesity, the brain systems for controlling hunger and energy are disrupted, creating biological barriers to weight loss that many people struggle to overcome. It's characterized by abnormal or excessive body fat, also called, I'm not going to say that. That impairs health because I can't, not because it was a bad word. Obesity is not defined by a single body type. People of all shapes and sizes, including smaller bodies, can live with obesity.
Yeah, I think, obesity is more about like your body, your
composition.
A
lot of belly fat is part of it, I believe, but
it's like your fat to whatever ratios.
Yeah. And they still use BMI as an indicator, even though it's been vastly like,
it doesn't fully
tell the whole picture.
Everything.
And there are some, but it's still one of the best tools of diagnosing that they have.
Yeah.
Obesity can impact health early. You're not waiting till you're 60 for the issues to creep up.
True.
They can start as early as childhood in some cases.
Yeah.
Which is why this child obesity epidemic is really critical to address, because as anyone who's battled with their weight knows, once it's there, it's a lot harder to lose and keep off than if you had just kept it off in the first place.
Very true.
And conditions we know are like type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure and plus the emotional toll of it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think in today's day and age, kids are better, much better about it. I don't think that's quite as picked on, but at the same time,
it is.
at the same time, I think, it's, if you can't, like, you can't do a certain thing that everyone else is doing, I think that causes, some emotional damage for sure.
Regardless of what generation, and I think it's still very relevant based on what I've seen with my nephews and stuff, and how I've heard them use language around, like, it's like, oh, that person's fat or whatever. Talking about, but I think it still exists. Othering of any kinds exists.
I think it still exists. I don't think it's as prevalent as it used to be.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree.
Right.
Yeah. Obesity is treatable.
Ooh.
When you acknowledge it as the disease it is, and you seek and get treatment, and your doctor doesn't say, just lose weight.
And I think that kind of goes twofold, right? You also have to acknowledge it. Like,
yeah, well, that's a big part of it, right? Is admitting that you yourself are not a failure.
Right.
Because you struggle with an illness, because we would have no issue seeking treatment for cancer.
Right. No, 100%.
We'd get the chemo. We wouldn't blame ourselves. And you know what? And a great comparison. Well, it's not even a great comparison, because as we've talked about many times, you have to eat to live.
Right.
You can never smoke and not have that risk factor. But when smokers get lung cancer and things like that, they still go get treatment.
That's true.
And they're still treated for the cancer.
Yeah. And I think that, and I think the first step to trying to better yourself is to just acknowledge it, right? Don't be in denial of that, and because I am still bigger, but I am not like super big, but I acknowledge that I am obese and that thing, but someone my size could easily be in denial of them being obese.
100%. Like, and it's one of those things where obese is an ugly word anyway. Like, it's weird to say, and not just the connotation, the word itself.
It's just a bad word.
It doesn't sound pleasant, but it is the it is the term.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't, there's nothing cute about it in terms of the word itself. And it's a struggle. Like, even me, I'm obviously obese, like morbidly even. and I still struggle with saying it myself.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to not feel that way and treat it like whatever, but it's still in my own head. Hard to admit that as much as I'm reading this on an official, like, Obesity Canada medically sanctioned website, I still struggle with it.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's something, I think, that one of the first steps, and I think this kind of goes back to the OA stuff that we kind of like is acknowledging is the first step, right?
Right. Admitting you have a problem.
Yeah.
but unlike the OA stuff, admitting it's a problem, that very much makes it your problem. And whereas this can be, there are other interventions for it. And I know that Aaron didn't say that necessarily, but like, again, it's not like alcohol.
Right.
Where you can choose whether you eat or not.
Right. No, exactly. And I think we go back to that with our episode a couple weeks ago. We talked about choose. You can't choose to eat, but you could choose what you eat.
What you eat, exactly. And then number 5, which is where I think we'll have the most discussion: weight bias, stigma, and discrimination harm everyone.
Yeah.
Because it creates structural barriers to care that worsen health outcomes and mental well-being, contributing to depression, anxiety, and social isolation. Fear of judgment causes many people living with obesity to avoid seeking medical help. Ding, ding, ding. Have definitely done that.
Yeah.
Delaying diagnosis and treatment, and the societal cost is steep, contributing to higher healthcare costs and lost productivity.
Yeah. And I think that when you get to a point where you are not willing to seek help, there is potential that you do become that person who just, I'm not going to the gym because I am fat, and I'm going to stay at home because I don't want people to see me. And now you're in your house, and it just, compounds and gets worse and worse,
like worse and worse and worse. And I never let it isolate me too very much. However, I have avoided, in the past, and even presently, I've avoided going to the doctor. Even as recently as right now, I hurt my shoulder and have avoided going to the doctor because I wanted to get myself in a better shape first. And my doctor has been nothing but supportive of treating this like an illness. Yep. It is not my doctor. It is entirely in my head. It is I have a family doctor. There is literally no excuse for me having not to go see the doctor about my shoulder other than I'm in my head about it.
Understandable. I mean, yeah. And experiences that, like, I know you had this doctor you've had good experiences with, but previous doctors you've had bad experiences with.
I've really only had one that I had a terrible experience with, and I've talked about it before, but having somebody look at you and say, you need to lose 200 pounds, fair. You know what a pound of butter looks like? You're carrying an extra 200 of those. Not great. Doesn't make you feel good.
It does not. And I think that, again, that can compound to, well, then I'm just not going to go back to the doctor because I know I've done it before. I don't want to go to the doctor. They're just going to tell me it's because I'm fat.
Yep. And yeah, absolutely. And that fat is my fault. And I just need to make changes. And yes, there are changes that definitely need to be made. And in my case, I make some changes. I'll lose some weight to a point. But I've always hit a point, and it's at that 50 pound mark usually, where I super plateau and I don't know what to do beyond that. And that's why there are other interventions, and we've talked about them before, and I'm scared of them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared of surgery. I'm not in a rush to get bariatric surgery.
Yeah, no, understandable.
Usually long recovery time, lots of, any surgery has potential complications, but it is a medical treatment, and I would not refuse healthcare in any other avenue. Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%.
If the doctor said I needed chemo, I'd go get chemo. If the doctor said I needed a tumor removed, I'd go get tumor removed. I wouldn't question it. So I don't know why this is different. Well, I do know why this is different, because of stigma.
Right.
And because of my own stigma about it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think mentally it's definitely a barrier for sure. And I think that's why I think when we've talked about before is obesity isn't just the physical form, and the like health. It's mentally, right? It's as well. There's things that you need to talk to a professional about, that reasons in your head to do things as well, right?
Right, absolutely. And like, part of me feels, and this is so dumb, and I know this is dumb, is part of me feels like, for me, not for other people, I don't think this about anybody else. This is only for me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm such a failure. I have to have the medical intervention to just lose weight, and other people just do it on their own. And that's just statistically untrue.
Right.
Like, proven over and over and over again. But it's still ingrained in my head, and I'm trying so hard to shake it. I also, again, I'm trying to focus on our old mantra of eat, move, live. And am I boring you?
Sorry.
Isaiah just yawned, and I'm giving a hard time.
I did just yawn.
But like, I just don't know how to shake it. And I guess talking about it is big way.
Yeah.
Like, here we are. We're doing
the thing. Yeah, I think we are and no matter what your body shape is, you're so much harder on yourself than you are on other people around you, typically.
Yeah. If somebody was sitting here saying that to me, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you have to go. You have to do what's right for you. And like, no, it's not your fault. Like, I would say all that, and I would mean it.
Right.
But for me, no.
Yeah. Because we are so much harder on ourselves.
Yeah.
We just, whatever reason. And again, I think that goes back to why the therapy is important, on top, but not just going to the gym and trying to get physically healthy, but also mentally healthy.
Yeah. I've done a lot of mental work in the last 20 years. Like, I've come a long way to the point where I'm finally now probably ready for those next steps.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
I'm working on it.
Doing
this 5K.
doing the thing. 5K's coming up real soon.
Really soon.
Like what, 2 months away now?
Yeah. It's TikTok. And I think the more we talk about it and the more I talk about it at work, the more and more people I know are like, oh, we're doing the beer run too, because you keep talking about it. We're doing the beer run too. And I'm like,
heck yeah.
Oh my God, it's going to be so much fun. I've also decided not to drink until then.
Ooh, interesting. This will be the 9th.
This is the 10th one.
I'm sorry. This episode comes out on the 9th.
Sorry.
today, when you were listening to this, it is the 9th of April. And the run is the 31st of May. I have that time booked off so I can go.
Oh yeah, because it's a Saturday.
It is.
Right. That would have become a challenge.
It would have.
Have you bought a ticket yet?
I have not.
Last day for early bird is today, I think.
Oh my goodness gracious me. I should buy a ticket.
Today being March 29th.
30th. the day of recording is March 30th. The day this comes out is April 9th. You will, if you are listening to this,
you have missed early bird.
But
still sign up. It's still a great cause. It's still awesome.
Heck yeah. I'm super excited for it. Any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
I think I've talked enough.
All right. Where can people find you on the internet?
Kate D on Instagram, Caitlin Dean on the Facebooks, Fat Caitlin on TikTok, and we're at Kate and Isaiah Living Large on Facebook.
Heck yeah. And I am at Maritime Brews on all the social medias. Also at Tweak the Profit on most of the social medias. And of course, we still have our Buy Me a Coffee going if you want to help donate to get us some lovely new equipment. As well, if you are listening on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, if you can like, share, subscribe there. Or if you're on YouTube, if you want to jump on over, you can jump on over and watch the video of us talking away.
Watch me floss and floss.
And you can previous episode floss and floss. I lost my train of thought. YouTube. If you are on YouTube, if you can like, share, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff over here, that is also appreciated. But until next week, bye.